Please take your seats as the show is about to begin.
Beginners to the stage.
Okay, we have clearance.
Stand by curtains.
Quiet, please.
Stand by Q1.
Break a leg, everyone.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Chorley Theatre.
$8,900 words. That's how much I've written of my 10,000 word dissertation. I only need 100 more words to hit the 9,000 word limit, then it's done. How hard can it be? Very. It's very hard. I don't even know what I'm writing about anymore. I don't even know what degree I'm doing, to be honest. I started writing this a month ago and I haven't a clue what I'm on about. I only started doing a degree because I couldn't be bothered getting into work straight away. I was working part-time at a hotel. Well, I say hotel. It was more like an exhibition of poor hygiene in the hospitality sector. They had an abundance of unclean equipment in the kitchen, but opted to use the microwave anyway. Nothing like some preheated vegetables to go with your vacuum-packed ham. I was offered the chance to be a supervisor. But I'd rather cut off my own arms than silver-serve potatoes to a works do again, let alone be in charge of self-entitled teenagers who know more about TikTok than how to treat a customer with basic humility. Glad I'm not one of them anymore. 21, so I can claim to be an adult now. I've already worked out that the highest grade I can get for my degree is a 2-2. After this monstrosity, it'll be a 3rd anyway. And all I can think about when I hear the words dissertation and deadline is, what's the point? I've already tried every trick in the book to boost the word count. Changing don't to do not, and it's to it is, and they said to this was first said. I've included long, rambling quotes written by some academic who has something very important to say, which, you know, would be ideal right now, but I don't think I'd get away with adding in another. I've only written about 5% of it, and that's the bit in between the quotes. Come to think of it, right? What's the point in academic writing? All I'm doing is copying what someone else has said. And these people I'm quoting, these supposedly clever people, have probably just nicked it off someone else. And then those clever people will look at what other clever people have said and say, oh, aren't you so clever? I really loved the way that you read some books and copied what someone else has said. It's a complete farce. Basically, a degree teaches a person how to be honest, yet an ineffective criminal. Can you imagine a criminal under interrogation acting like an academic? Well, officer, I first learned how to hijack a car in 2011. I then proceeded to execute this technique on the Honda Jazz in question, but I've given you my source, so I can't get into trouble. Why anyone would choose to steal a Honda Jazz out of all the cars in the world, I don't know. This is how dull my life has become. That when I think about a car to steal, I automatically think of a Honda Jazz. I mean, It looks like Postman Pat's car. Why would it be my first option? You see, this is why I can't get anything done. I keep thinking about Honda Jazz. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I know. I'll change I'm to I am. That's real higher education right there. I think I might trim my toenails first though. Yeah, go. Yeah. Just save that.
Hi there. Just give us a minute to have a quick sip of me brew. Oh, that's better. I've got a 30-minute break off the ward, and I tell you, it's good to be out of all that PPE malarkey. Oh, never in the history of feeling hot, bothered, uncomfortable and manky have I ever felt so hot, bothered, uncomfortable and manky. It's not just the feel of the latex against your skin for 12.5 hours, unless you're into that kind of thing. Nudge, nudge, wink, wink. Oh, it's the mask as well. 12.5 hours of breathing into a mask that either steams up your glasses every time you breathe out, and don't try holding your breath, it doesn't work, and you invariably pass out unceremoniously on the floor. Or it creates such a subtropical environment across your face you don't half grow a fine beard, which is great if you're a bloke. I, however, seem to have grown somewhat of a lady beard that could rival Brian Blessed. I resulted to shouting, "Gordon's alive!" at every nursing handover. Oh. However, having a beard does give me something to stroke in a pondering fashion as I try to figure out DonDoff. Let me tell you about DonDoff. I know, it sounds like a £1 mafiosa. Hey, I'm a DonDoff. You disrespecting my family, eh? But there is a lot more to the donning and doffing of PPE. It's not just a case of apron on, mask on, gloves on and presenting yourself on the ward in a ta-da fashion. Oh no, no, no. You put an apron on, it rips because it's cheap, rubbish. So you put another one on. You go to get gloves, there's only size small. You curse because to match your lovely Brian Blessed beard, you've got giant man hands. So you flounce off to go and find large latex gloves. You find some, you put them on. They rip because they're cheap, rubbish. So you put another pair on. You put a mask on, you take it off because it's inside out. You put it on, you take it off because it's upside down. You put it on the correct way and walk, glasses of steam on door, to the ward. Doffing includes alcohol on your gloves, apron off, mask off, gloves off, hands washed in that order. Oh, but the infection prevention team have been on the ward and suddenly areas have got colour designations based on the results of the swabs that the patients had. So we have the green zone, which is for patients testing negative. So you can don and go straight to the green zone. That's A-OK. But you've got to walk through the red zone, which is for people testing positive. So you've to walk through the red zone and doff to get to the green zone. So we're donning and doffing and donning again. When you leave the green zone, you don't need to doff. Woohoo! But wait, The infection prevention team have been in again. They've created an extra zone. That's kind of a minute. So now they've included the yellow zone, which is for patients testing positive, negative. So, if you walk from the red zone to the yellow zone, you doff. Then you don and walk through the yellow zone and you doff. Then you don and walk to the green zone. I tell you, by this stage, there's so many corridors full of tables of bad-fitting gloves and cheap aprons. Right, so we're finally getting the routine. Except the infection prevention team have been again. They've created another zone. We now have bonus pale green zone, which is for patients who have tested positive, 2 negatives, and you've got to wait 7 days to shed the virus. So, to get to the green zone, I've got to go through red, then yellow, then pale green zone. You know where I'm going with this one, don't you? So I don, doff, don, doff, don, doff, and don again. Can I add that this donning and doffing doesn't include the times when the ward manager pulls an emergency and we've got to don on an all-in-one white paper overall that lies about being large size and fits ridiculously tight. And you've got 3 minutes and 10 seconds to get it over your uniform, including your shoes. My best is 3 minutes 45, and that's 20 seconds deducted for falling on the floor trying to get it over my shoes. I tell you, never in the history of the word overall has an item of clothing not covered overall. They should call it only over half. Oh, anyway, my break's up. Time to get back to the ward. I've just been told that the infection prevention team are in again, no doubt to create a sky blue pink with a yellow border zone.
This day has seemed so long. Every hour's felt like a day. A day I want to go away. When I woke up this morning and looked out the window, the sun had been shining. It was warm and cheerful. It's funny how we attribute feelings to the sun. Cheerful. And what we really mean is it makes us cheerful. Well, this morning it felt warm and it made me cheerful. It was the kind of day you wait for, kind you long for as you live through the cold winter days and the changeable spring days, the perfect summer day. The kind of day that can bring a smile to your face. Sun can do that, you know. When you wake up in the morning and you see its cheerfulness, it can make you smile. It made me smile. I'd got up at 7:30 and my mind had filled with thoughts of picnics, a family trip out, a happy family excursion on a perfect summer's day. The pessimist in me nudged me to check the weather forecast to make sure that nothing would spoil our day. The weather map had shown me that no bad weather was due. Even the children had been unusually quiet. They'd slept in, only half an hour, but still not bad. I'd managed to have a quiet, civilised breakfast and a quick shower. When the children did wake up, the house was filled with noise, the happy, noisy kind of noise that only children can make. And my real day had begun. Harry had phoned last night to say he'd be on the 6:30am flight back and he should be home by 10 or 11 at the latest. And our long-promised long weekend could finally begin. Friday to Tuesday, this was actually going to happen. The pessimist in me appeared again. No, I thought, no dark clouds, not today, and I dismissed them. Harry had told me he'd managed to sleep for a few hours and the flight was only a short one. The first plane out, sweetie. I want this weekend to be long. You three be ready for a swift exit. Loud and clear, I'd said. I knew he'd need breakfast and a shower, so I gave the children their breakfast and we got all the stuff together. The children had decided on the beach. I knew Harry wouldn't mind, so we got everything together, the swimsuits and all the necessary equipment, and we packed the car. The children had got dressed and I remember I was checking through the bags to make sure we'd not forgotten anything. That was when Gracie rang. Is Harry home yet? She'd asked. No, he should be home soon, I'd replied cheerfully. Can I help? Linda, turn on the TV and go to Channel 7. Channel 7, I'd replied. Why? I remember her voice had been tight and she'd scared me. When I turned on the TV, my day stopped. Right there and then, in that moment. In that moment, the day had become a frozen picture. All I'd seen were the flames, the trucks and the chaos at the airport. The plane that Harry had been on had crashed on landing. No survivors. No one left to enjoy the perfect day. No one. Gracie and Bill arrived quickly and my mum and dad are here now. The house, in fact, is filled with our families. Good for the children. But for me, it's quiet and empty. There is no picnic, no smiles, no swimming, no Harry. It's been I don't know how long since the news. Time's just happening and I don't know anything about it as I sit here. I know that they have confirmed that Harry was on the plane and they are sorry for my loss. Loss. Bloody loss. It's more than just loss, it's an end, it's final. So I'm sitting here by the window looking out at the sun, but I can't feel the warmth. Everyone's leaving me alone and I'm glad I'll be with my mum. Good old mum. Good old mum. I'm just waiting here for something. I don't know what. Realisation, tears, terror, hopelessness. I really don't know. I can't control this day. It's taken on a life of its own with teeth biting and hurting. So I sit here and I wait for this perfectly shit day to... Will it end? Sitting here, looking out at the sun. The one that can make you smile. But inside I am screaming.